Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to the Steam 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at what I believe is the best Stasis build for the Hunter this season. Stasis kind of feels like it's been flying under the radar with all the changes and all the reworks that we got this season. But I got some pretty strong mobs in the artifact. I definitely want to highlight them with this build. Another build today is going to be all about doing ad clear, constantly freezing enemies, having a ton of damage resistance, as well as spamming abilities. We basically spam abilities like we never could before. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more builds. And now let's get into it, and first we're gonna start with our exotics, more specifically our exotic weapon, since that's like the main part and the main reason that we're going into this build. Now for this build we're gonna be using the newly reworked Wicked Implement that went from being a 180 RPM scout rifle to a 260 or a rapid fire scout rifle. And due to this change alone, made using the Wicked Implement so much better. I much rather have like a fast firing scout when it comes to like anything really, compared to like a 180. It just feels so much nicer. For some reason the higher PM scout rifles just feel a lot better to use, and this one feels amazing. And this is also a feature weapon this season, meaning that just by putting this weapon on, we're going to be doing more damage in PvE. And the weapon itself is just really good. It's a constant, slow and freezing machine that's going to work really well with the things that we have in the artifact. And it gets even better if you have the catalyst, since it gives you headstone, so you can make some crystals whenever you get precision kills, and it will also let you overflow the magazine of this weapon whenever you create stasis shards. And with the amount of shards we can actually make with this build, this is something that's always working over time. Now for our exotic piece of armor, we're still gonna be on the Mask of Filthy. This thing has been amazing since it was released. Hitting something with Withering Blades creates small stasis crystals and refunds melee energy, and whenever you use the Withering Blade to shatter crystals or frozen targets, they release more Withering Blades. This is an amazing exotic for any stasis build, and it's gonna add even more ability spam and even more ad clear to all the freezing and crystals that we're gonna be making them even deadlier. Now for the other weapons you wanna pair up with your Wicked Implement, I would actually recommend solar weapons, since after we apply a debuff on enemies, solar weapons are gonna be doing more damage to them. So pairing up some solar weapons with our stasis abilities just kind of made sense, and I think this is what works the best, especially against some of those bigger enemies. Having something like Hissins or just any solar rocket is going to be amazing. Now for the subclass today, we're going to be playing on pure stasis, and for your class ability, you want to go with Gambler's Dodge, so whenever we dodge, we get some melee energy back. And as long as you have 100 melee stat, this should be giving you about a dodge and a little extra for the second one. So if you don't have any of them, you should be fully getting one, and then like 10% to 20% of the second one. For our grenade, we're gonna go with the Glacier Grenade. This is gonna pair up really well with our helmet. We throw our grenade, then throw one Withering Blade, and just watch all the crystals explode, and basically just ad clear a bunch of things, or just do a lot of damage to some of those bigger enemies. For your aspects, you want to go with Grim Harvest as well as Winter Shroud. Winter Shroud will make it so you can slow targets whenever they get close to you. This one's gonna be really good, especially since we're gonna be getting lots of class ability energy for freezing targets. So this is something that we can constantly use. And whenever we slow targets, it actually improves our class ability regen, so we can actually keep getting our class ability faster. But the real big one, and the one that we want to focus on, is Grim Harvest. Whenever we defeat any slow or frozen targets, it creates stasis shards. And whenever we pick up those stasis shards, we're gonna get lots of melee energy, so we can keep spamming our melees, and also frost armor. And because this happens every time that we kill a slow or frozen target, and that's kind of like our main thing, this is just something that's constantly gonna keep spawning on the field, and they're all gonna come to us, meaning that we're always gonna have frost armor. Losing frost armor is very hard with this build, as long as you're constantly killing enemies. And if you do lose it, getting back to 5 stacks of frost armor is very easy. Now for the fragments, the first one we're gonna have is gonna be the Whisper of Conduction, and this one is just kind of like quality of life. It makes playing with all these shards and grabbing them just so much easy, because you don't really have to really even think about it, because all nearby shards will track to your position, so you just kind of have to be close enough, and they will all just fly towards you, refreshing the frost armor as well as giving you that melee energy. And it also gives you a nice bump to health as well as super. After that, we're going to have the Whisper of Fissures. This is going to improve the damage and blast radius of our crystal explosions and the explosions that happen whenever we defeat some frozen targets, just overall giving us even more ad clear. After that, we have Whisper of Shards. This is gonna make it so we get more ability energy for our grenade whenever we break some crystals. And since we're gonna be constantly making crystals with everything, with our weapon, with our grenade, with our melees, we're always gonna be breaking them, so we're always gonna have that increased grenade regen. And this actually is gonna let us spam our grenade a lot. It is an insane amount of regen we get that even if we're not focusing into grenade, we're gonna be getting back really quickly. Whisper of Hunger is gonna give us even more melee energy whenever we pick up Stasis shards. And the final one is gonna be the Whisper of Refraction. Whenever we defeat frozen or slow targets, they grant class ability energy. And again, since that's like the main thing that we're doing, we're gonna be getting a ton of class ability energy, even if that's not a stat that we're really focusing. The really good thing about Stasis is that we have all these things that are constantly giving us our abilities back without having to focus points into them, so we can focus on some other ones that really matter. Now for the artifact, we actually have quite a lot of things since Stasis is one of the featured things in the artifact, but we're going to be starting one that's actually not Stasis, is Rapid Precision Rifling. Whenever we hit rapid precision hits or final blows with scout rifles, we get increased reload and reduce incoming flame. Frost Benu can be a really good mod in case something gets a little too close. Whenever you have frost armor and you take critical damage, you release that burst that freezes nearby combatants, and it also refreshes our frost armor cooldown, basically keeping that damage distance. This was gonna be pretty good. This one's not gonna come into play all the time, since we do have a scout rifle and we're most of the time staying away from the enemies, but if something gets a little too close, this could definitely save us. In the next column, we're gonna have Cauterized Darkness, and this is the reason that I recommended those solar weapons, because we're gonna be applying a bunch of slows, a bunch of freezes, so whenever we do that, especially with our super that's constantly applying slow, it is a great time for our solar weapons to do extra damage, especially against some of those bigger enemies like bosses. It is just perfect for this and helps us put in more damage out there. Elemental Coalescence is going to add some more Stasis shards so we can spam abilities even more. And then the final two right here are really the big ones. Elemental Overdrive will make it so our Stasis weapons do more damage whenever we pick up an Elemental Pickup. And since we're going to be making tons and tons of shards, this is basically always on our Scout Rifle, always making it do more damage. And Frigid Glare is going to give us a ridiculous amount of freeze, because every time that we have Frost Armor, Stasis Precision Final Blows to combatants release a freezing burst. So it's not a slowing burst, it straight up just freezes everything. If you have like a big group of enemies and you use Headshot one of them, they all immediately just freeze and they're just easy pickings. This is such a strong mod, especially with a Scout Rifle where you can hit precision hits very easily. It is one of the best Stasis mods we had in such a long time. It makes freezing everything and just blowing everything up with your Withering Blades so much easier. Now for the stats that you want to go for on this build, I would recommend that you go for melee and super. So have at least 90 or 100 to both of those stats, and then it's gonna work out pretty well. We're gonna be getting tons of class ability energy just because of all the freezing and slowing that we're doing, so you don't really have to focus this a lot. You want to put some points into weapons, that would be really good as well. My armor is just definitely not ready to spec into weapons as well though, so I had a pretty low stat. Now when it comes to the actual armor mods on your helmet, you want to go with Special Ammo Finder, Hands On so you can get some more super from your melee kills, and then Harmonic Siphon so every time we get some kills with our Stasis Scout, we make some orbs. For the gauntlets, we essentially just have the triple melee one, Heavy Handed so we can make some orbs whenever we get kills with our melee, Momentum Transfer so whenever we do damage with our melee, it reduces our grenade cooldown, and then Focusing Strike so we can get class ability whenever we hit something with our power melee. For the chest piece, we just have the resistances, nothing really special here, pretty normal. For the boots, you want to go Stasis Weapon Surge to give some more damage to your weapon, Weapons Font so you can increase your weapon stat, or Invigoration. If you don't want the Weapons Font, you could just go with a second Stasis Weapon Surge. The both are going to work pretty similarly, and I just gotta make the weapon feel a little bit better so it does a little bit more damage. Lastly, for the class item, you want to go Class Font, Reaper, and Bomber so we can get our grenade back faster, to add a little more stats to our class, and then to make some more orbs after we use a class ability. Now the gameplay loop for this build is very simple. We want to try to get some Stasis shards out there or some frozen enemies so we can throw our shuriken and just watch them explode and blow up anything around them. After you do that, you're going to get a bunch of Stasis shards, which is going to give you a bunch of ability energy so you can just continue doing that over and over again. This build has some crazy ability uptime, so don't really hold on to your abilities, just kind of throw them out there. You'll get them back really quickly, and even if you somehow lose all your abilities, just by using your scout rifle and freezing and slowing targets, you're gonna get a bunch of stasis shards, which then are gonna give you your abilities back faster. But that's gonna be the end of the build. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, hopefully you guys like it. Like always, there's gonna be a dim link in the comments below in case you guys wanna give this build a try. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thank you all for stopping by. The support has been amazing lately, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.